Ladies and gentlemen, and now introducing your commander-in-thief, Mark Joseph Carney.
Are you ready, men?
Attention! Present arm!
Oh my, you scared me.
Don't be so aggressive. This is the military.
We have to do everything with flair, like this.
Well, campaign summer kicks off, and quite frankly, I don't think I want to remain in the Canada you just saw. Little parody coming in from RPN, Red Pill North. Go check out his channel. You can see the rest of the video. It's quite hilarious. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening across the country, because it seems like no matter what we're doing, whether it's our federal government, whether it's our provincial government, or our municipal government, there's rules for thee, not for me. I know I've talked about the West a lot. Sorry, not sorry. I live there. There's a lot going on, but once again, the rules don't seem to apply for some reason when it comes to the Federalists against those in grassroots. However, there is some good news I want to share with you before we get into that today. Keith Wilson's Let Alberta Decide third-party advertiser had a breaking record this week. Albertans have helped Let Alberta Decide raise over $100,000 in 6 days. I already said when Keith Wilson announced this last week that he probably wasn't going to have any issue filling the $600,000 limit on his TPA. I would highly recommend everybody go over to letalbertadecide.com and make a donation. Fantastic website, by the way. There's a lot of resources there. I heard it was about $120,000 actually that was raised in the 6 days. They go on to say, thank you for the incredible support. The funds are being processed now. We expect to begin deploying them in the coming days as we build to win on October 19th. We had Keith on the channel and he was talking about all the reasons that Alberta would benefit from leaving Canada. He also went on to talk about his white paper and how they intend to have discussions with the soft middle and those who are undecided so far about, well, Canada being separate from Alberta. I love this post from Rise of Alberta, how it feels when Americans arrive, and the replies before the CBC crowd can regroup. Again, as it says, how it feels to post about Alberta independence and watch the Americans show up to fight the Liberals in the comments. The Americans are fantastic. We have a lot of American viewers on this channel. Again, I can't play the audio from this because it's an amazing Led Zeppelin track, but it kind of sums up the camaraderie we've had with Americans since Alberta began this path forward, and the path forward to the vote for a vote on October 19th. Very excited to see what's coming out of this. Shout out to Rise of Alberta again. Rise of Alberta doing a lot of coverage on the referendum front. Keep your eyes peeled on that. However, we have to start talking about where the problems lie and where the rules for thee and not for me are happening. We've seen it with Thomas Lukaszuk. He did not form as a TPA, then all of a sudden he did register as a TPA, and then the dates were switched around. The feds are doing everything they can to try and make it look like everything's legit, everything's running the way it's supposed to. Yet Tom Lukaszuk's Forever Canada third-party advertiser hasn't reported any of the donations that they've got yet, as of the time of filming this video. And all the money that they've raised prior to then, where's that? Elections Alberta doesn't want to seem to hold their feet to the fire. Well, now we have another one. I've placed in Alberta, third-party advertising signs are prohibited on or alongside public roadways. Placing unauthorized advertisements, including election signs, on road right-of-ways, medians, traffic islands, or highway shoulders creates severe safety hazards by distracting drivers or obstructing sight lines. Am I wrong? And I asked Jason Levine and Corey Morgan. Of course, you can see this new sign that's right on the side of the road in Calgary. I believe this is somewhere around the Beltline as you're going over the 4th Avenue flyover, right next to the Bow River. And you can see, this is from the group Alberta's Voice. We're going to talk about Alberta's Voice. Stick with me. A lot to unpack with them. But of course, this is illegal. Jason Levine chimed in, you're correct. A complaint should be made to the city-town bylaw. Fines and removal should follow. Well, we know that the city of Calgary isn't going to do anything about it, so hang with me. We're going to talk about how to fix this problem. You can see right here, I drove into the core last night and witnessed all of these all over the city property. One rule for thee. Corey Morgan even chimed in. Looks like the Federalists will be beginning their campaign by learning about the regulations regarding signs on public land. So we know already they're breaking the rules. They're breaking the rules. What I posted about was a guy named Stephen Carter, who's been illegally placing signs in Calgary. Make sure to call Elections Alberta and file a complaint. You guys can cancel our venues and think that you don't have to play by the rules. Welcome to the party, pal. It's time to, this is where I say, time to fight fire with fire. If you're breaking the rules, it's fair game. Fair game. I think it's fair game. Now, when we look at Stephen Carter, here's his profile over on X. President of the Decide campaign, politics equals fun, ski cross mountain biking, and the loud guy on Strategist podcast, OG blue check mark. Even though he doesn't have a blue check mark. You can tell he's a liberal. You can tell he's a liberal. Okay? So let's dive into some of the information about Stephen Carter, because we're not doxing anybody. In fact, he's the president of Decide Campaigns. He's an innovator, always pushing the bounds of what is possible, best known as one of Canada's leading political strategists. He played a leadership role in the rise of Mayor Naheed Nenshi, Premier Alison Redford, Mayor Jody Gondek. What a resume. What a resume. This guy. The National Post, CBC, and other political commentators have described him as a political mastermind, yet he doesn't know about election laws or third-party advertising laws. And there's a big confusion to that, because somebody in the comments, when I posted this, came out and said, well, election laws state this. This isn't an election. It's a referendum campaign. It's a third-party advertising campaign. There are different rules for that. So we have them right here. Here's the AI overview from Elections Alberta. In Alberta, placing unauthorized third-party signs, including campaign and election materials on road right-of-ways, medians, and highway shoulders, is strictly regulated to prevent safety hazards and driver distraction. Local bylaws and provincial statutes strictly govern where, when, and how temporary signs can be deployed. You can't do it. Yet they seem to think it's no problem. They can just do whatever they like. This is the problem we run into in this country. Now, when we go back to the post, when we go back to the original post, I've got Stephen Carter saying, where are they illegal? Where's the one that I've highlighted here? He comes in to say, where is it illegal? I believe it was under this post. They aren't illegal, he says. Once again, I post, this is from Elections Alberta website, and here's the description. These guys think that the rules don't belong to them. They can do whatever they like. Why? Because they're on the federal end of the spectrum. And this is why I've said, when you look at Pierre Poilievre, when you look at Mark Carney, when you look at everybody coming to Alberta this summer, including Naheed Nenshi and your own premier, Danielle Smith, telling you, yeah, you should just like the machine that you're currently on. Like essentially what was in that liberal, vote liberal video that we just showed. You're supposed to just buck up and be okay with all of that. You're supposed to accept it and say no problem. Well, the campaign, for anybody who wants to know, for these signs that are illegally placed in Calgary right now, is coming from a group called Alberta's Voice. I believe this is the same campaign Naheed Nenshi is running alongside. It's a grassroots campaign dedicated to preventing Alberta separation from Canada. This isn't grassroots. Again, we showed the guy who's running it, who's ran campaigns for Nenshi, Redford, Gondek. Again, Nenshi, I believe, is involved in this. He's campaigned for them. That's not grassroots. That's federalism. Protecting Canada's constitutional democracy and standing for immigration and newcomers to our great province. Does that sound like something you guys want in Alberta? Open the doors, floodgates. This campaign belongs to Albertans. By the way, at the bottom of the page, they have blood guilt on their own. They have to acknowledge the land on their own website. Isn't this hypocrisy at its finest? Usually, when you do a land acknowledgement, it's because you're standing somewhere. on what is preceded as treaty land. A website is in cyberspace. It's not. This is how woke these people are. Like, I almost feel bad for them. I almost do. Because, like, imagine existing like this. Imagine this being your go-to land acknowledgement on a friggin' website. Oh, sorry, guys. I know it's not bad news completely. I know we're just goofing here, but you guys deserve it at the end of the week. You've been through the ringer. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can do. Alberta's Voice is the name of the TPA. We've said this before. File a complaint with Elections Alberta. Here's their information. Office hours are Monday through Friday, 8:15 a.m. to noon. So tomorrow, make sure to give them a phone call. Also from 1 p.m. to 4:30, you can call them at area code 780-427-7191. You can also email them info@elections.ab.ca. I would recommend everyone do both. Flood their emails about Alberta's Voice and ask them just why they are allowed to put up illegal signs during the campaign period in the city of Calgary. And I guarantee you, I've even said those that have TPAs and these large signs should go put one in front of and behind all of these signs just to see the hypocrisy, just to watch the hypocrisy. The problem is that those signs were funded through grassroots, and you don't want to waste those resources. It's a stupid slogan. Stay in Canada, no to the 9. They said, well, there's 9 questions and the top question. So this is both questions. There's 10 questions. Stop trying to cover for your stupidity. There's 10 questions. You guys can't even campaign properly. Again, Monday through Friday, 8:15 a.m. to noon, 780-427-7191 to contact Elections Alberta. Let them know about Alberta's Voice and let them know that if we have to follow the rules, they have to follow the rules as well. Their lines should be flooded. Call the city of Calgary, contact them and ask them, why is this allowed to go on in the city? Why? And if they try to tell you it's perfectly legal, let's get Corey Morgan, let's get Jason Levine, let's get others getting their large signs in front of and behind every single one of these in Calgary until the hypocrisy stops. I think that is a good use of the money if the city wants to push back, if the city wants to say that it's perfectly legal. This is the problem, is we've been doing months and months of getting our events canceled, our venues canceled. We highlighted this week Mitch Sylvester having his venue canceled in Red Deer, of all places, or Sylvan Lake, and he had to go outside. It was Red Deer, in Red Deer. He had to have his town hall outside in a public area. If they want to do this to us, we can play by the rules as well. It's all fair game, folks, because if they're doing illegal things, they should be called out for it, since they're so quick to make sure we have no voice. Make sure Alberta's Voice, at least the TPA, is silenced. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If it's your first time here, I sure hope this video has earned your subscription. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button. YouTube's been doing a huge purge of subscribers. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. If you were before, join me live on the channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for all 3 of our incredible live shows as we chat with my co-hosts about everything happening this week in politics, everything we know coming up in the week ahead, as well as Q&A within the largest, greatest YouTube community on the platform. I look forward to chatting with you guys outside of making these videos. I most importantly look forward to talking to you this week starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, right here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.